Day number 12 is Dexter Gordon. Long, tall Dexter, our man in Paris. Hi, welcome to today's vlog. Today is day 12 of our saxophone advent challenge, and today we're going to talk about one of my favourite saxophone players on this list. Long, tall Dexter Gordon. Dexter Gordon was born in 1923 in California. His father was a dentist or a doctor. Various different people have said different things, but certainly what we know is that Duke Ellington was one of his father's patients. His dad was a major jazz fan. Dexter Gordon picked up the clarinet at age 13 and moved on to the alto saxophone first, and then onto the tenor saxophone, which was the instrument that he made his own. Now, Dexter Gordon stood at 6'6", which even now would make him really tall. Back then probably made him a giant, and he was certainly a giant of the saxophone. He was the first tenor saxophone player to really get hold of what Charlie Parker was doing on the alto and translate it onto the tenor saxophone. He had a huge influence on John Coltrane, but the great thing is that later on John Coltrane influenced him, and there's Dexter Gordon going back and re-recording things like Body and Soul in the style of the way Coltrane was doing it with those alternative changes. Dexter Gordon though did have some problems. He spent a number of years in prison. He had a lot of problems with drug abuse, alcohol abuse, ended up moving to Europe in the 60s and staying in Europe around Paris and Copenhagen from kind of the 1960s into the 70s. He's the only person on this list to be nominated for an Oscar, which he received for the 1986 film Round Midnight, which is definitely worth watching if you can get a hold of it. It kind of combines a bit of Dexter's story with that of Lester Young and Bud Powell. It's quite a sad story as well.
There's always the dreams.
What kind of dreams?
Well, it's always about music.
It's well worth watching. Some of the music's a bit cheesy. It's the 80s, you know, and it does use a jazz soundtrack, and Dexter is playing on a lot of it. But he acts incredibly well. You know, he's certainly, you wouldn't think he was a jazz musician. You know, he does act incredibly well, and that's not always easy to do. In 1976, Dexter Gordon returned to New York for the first time in over 15 years and played a 2-night engagement at the Storyville Club. He was so well received that he was still getting standing ovations at 3 AM that the manager of the Vanguard booked him to come back and play, and they actually recorded that, and it was a very successful record day, which kind of heralded this return of Dexter Gordon back to the States. And after that homecoming gig, Dexter Gordon continued to perform, stars in films, right up until his death in 1990. Musically speaking, it's been said that what Dexter Gordon was doing was kind of combining Lester Young's lyricism with Coleman Hawkins' power, with Charlie Parker's rhythm. He really is a fantastic player, a great composer. Some of his compositions like Cheesecake and those are really worth studying, like bebop classics really. And there are going to be people in here who are going to know an awful lot more about Dexter Gordon than I do, but I can safely say he's definitely someone I enjoy listening to. I don't listen to enough, so I'm enjoying making this playlist for you as much as hopefully you are going to enjoy listening to it as well. So day number 12 is Dexter Gordon. Long, tall Dexter, our man in Paris. He might have lost his eyes, his nose, still got his arms, but Bob is still here. Bob the Snowman. nice when he comes in for a jam session. It's just a pity I have to bribe him a little bit more these days. I better go upstairs and set the Xbox up for him now. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate all the positive feedback you're giving me, and please keep telling other people about these playlists. It is a lot of work, but if you guys are listening to them, you guys are learning about new players or learning about new music, then it's totally worth it. Make sure you check out what I was doing yesterday here with the Lou Donaldson vlog, and this is what I was up to this time last year. I should be around tomorrow for another vlog, so stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe. Bye bye.